This is the Business Experience Show, where we talk to entrepreneurs about the challenges and successes of starting, owning, or operating a business. Hear real-world advice from a think tank of consulting professionals, marketing strategists, and business owners. Our dream team brings real-world experience with a splash of personality, adding an entertaining flavor to business talk. From the multifaceted business wolf in retired attorney sheep's clothing to the digital media and branding brainiac who addresses the world with a twang, and the right-brained marketing hostess who connects all the dots. The hosts of the show are Lisa Caprelli, a business owner, marketing consultant, and motivational coach. She has personally spent over $1 million on radio advertising and is here to share everything that is taught her. Kramer is a retired trial attorney who specialized in corporate partnerships and franchise litigation for 25 years. He has owned numerous businesses, including a celebrity-owned day spa, a casino card game, and a minor league baseball team. Today, he consults with business owners to identify and achieve their specific goals for success. Joining us in the think tank, Cole Smith, an author, consultant, and entrepreneur who works with some of the biggest companies in media and publishing to help strengthen your brand through his company, ELOC Network. And now, the Business Experience Show.
Welcome to the Business Experience Show. Today we have two professionals who are very passionate about what they do. Graphic artist turned entrepreneur Justin Young joins us to discuss BlueCanvas.com, which encompasses an artist community, an online and print magazine, and a digital art gallery and store. But we start with specialty chiropractor Dr. Michael Pangelinan, commonly and affectionately referred to as Dr. Mike. His office is located in Hollywood, California. The doctor's in. Welcome, Dr. Mike.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Did I say your name right?
You sure did.
Say it again.
Pangelinan.
Oh, okay. That's why we call you Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike, while preparing for the show, you invited my producer and I to your office for a chiropractic evaluation. I'm so glad that you did that because trying to understand what you do goes beyond words, but let's try. Tell us what makes your practice different from other chiropractors.
I start off with in a different fashion. I treat a lot of athletes, dancers, and musicians. What I found is they tend to be the most difficult patients to treat, and they know right away if something works or if it doesn't. An athlete that's competing, if something goes wrong with his body, he knows right away.
Difficult because they're demanding, or difficult because they're finely tuned specimens?
Good question. A little bit of both, but really more because they're really finely tuned specimens. Musicians you wouldn't categorize in the same field as athletes and dancers, but they really are. They require the same precision, touch, feel, control as an athlete. So although they can compensate a little bit longer, they tend to pay the price later.
Hey, you're right there located in Hollywood. Is that a strategic move on your part?
I've been there for 12. This is my 13th year now. So a lot of people in the industry, in the entertainment industry, whether they're musicians, the athletes just tend to come by. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Did you find that you were going to target on musicians and athletes as a chiropractor, or did it just happen, or did you know that was going to be your niche?
You know, I actually fell into a practice that specialized in musicians specifically. What I found is that if you can fix musicians, you can fix anyone. And athletes and dancers came along the way with that. So.
Let me ask you, with musicians, obviously the hand is very important in the arms and fatigue, but even a singer, there's breathing, and I assume that drummers use their entire body, and so is there a particular type of musician that you specialize in, or pretty much any musician?
I treat everyone from the hard rock, heavy metal guys, drummers that are headbanging, to I treat quite a few members of the LA Philharmonic. It's the whole gamut. It's
also interesting as rock stars have aged, and we read about this, that what used to be all night sex, drugs, and rock and roll, they go home and they watch the Discovery Channel and wait for their ears to stop ringing. It's a very different as we have the graying musicians now, but they probably seek out chiropractors and healthcare providers a lot more often.
Yeah, that's correct, and especially some of the older musicians, they're on tour. They're all on tour again, and their audiences now have money, and go to all of their shows and buy all their products, and they go home and they don't. You're right. They go home and they're taking the Advils and the aspirins and in a lot of pain typically.
And what we hear about is that traveling is hard on older people. And we all know that the airlines have taken all the fun out of flying, but to check in and sleep in different hotels with different pillows and sitting around in cabs and vans and however they get around, I'm sure that takes the toll on a person's body as well.
That's right. And we see a lot of people right after their tours and their gigs.
Well, here's a problem that I have. I've been an athlete most of my life. So to go to a chiropractor, how do you get the musicians, the athletes to actually go to a chiropractor?
Most athletes do. I mean, it's the rare athlete that does not go to a chiropractor anymore. You can think of chiropractors anymore as dentists back in the 20s. And you used to ask in the 20s who you wouldn't ask who your dentist was, and now you kind of know who your chiropractor is. So we see them all the time.
Yeah. So you are a holistic type chiropractor, and it was interesting before the show we were talking about different pressure points and things like that. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my practice is a little different in the sense that I evaluate the body head to toe. I think it's a little bit naive to think you can treat someone as an individual body part and not include the rest of it. The way that we move incorporates the entire body. So if you evaluate the body head to toe, if you treat the body literally head to toe, people heal much faster.
But what about the patient that comes in and says, my problem is my lower back or my neck? Why would I consent to having you spend time looking at my calf if it's my neck that hurts? And I know you have a reason. I'm lobbing that one to you.
Yeah, it's a smart question. If the neck hurts, we think about, well, what connects your neck to the rest of the body, the foundation for your spine. So we start at the bottom and we simply go through these tests, and the patient will see, or you would see, either the tests are strong or they're not. If they're not, there's some imbalance in there. Most people will see that and go, okay, change that, fix it.
And actually, you when you made the reference to me individually, I'm neither a musician nor an athlete. Would I want to shy away from your practice because you specialize in musicians and athletes, or do you treat normal moms and pops?
I do, yeah. I treat a lot of their families and their friends also. It's a referral-based practice. And again, what I found is if you can fix these people, everyone else, it tends to be a bit easier.
Go ahead.
In a sense, what makes it harder for some people is athletes and musicians are driven to get better. They love what they do.
Perfection.
They're
looking for perfection.
And they're gifted in what they do. They love what they do. It's easy to tell someone who's checking groceries at Trader Joe's if he's got carpal tunnel syndrome, let's change jobs. And he'll go, okay, I'll stop being a checker. I'll do something else. Musicians are going to play till they die. So they're self-motivated to get well. That's what makes it harder for other people who would come into the practice who aren't professional musicians or dancers or athletes. They may not have the same motivation to do the work.
Well, they play through pain a lot of times, and then when they get so severe, they'll come to a chiropractor. But like you said, a lot of them will do certain things. My idea of a chiropractor, when I go, it's usually get my neck adjusted or my back pop, and I feel great for a few days. That's probably the extent that I've had in a chiropractor. But listening to some of the things that you do from head to toe, I mean, it's really intense work.
And you treat children also?
I do, yeah. Kids are a lot of fun. Kids are pretty easy. They don't tend to need a lot of treatment. But yeah, back to your question about treating the whole body and looking at people. Yeah, it's really what you do when you're not in the office that's important. Right. And so you go to a chiropractor and it lasts for a few days. Well, the question becomes, what did he have you do for the rest of the week until he sees you again? Right. It's what you do when you're not there. That's very important.
Oh, you mean you give homework assignments to your patients?
Oh, he did that for us when we went. It was really phenomenal. I saw a chiropractor once, like maybe 8 years ago, and I didn't really like my experience. So in my head, I was like, oh, I don't know. And then Dr. Mike invited us to go get adjustment and do the evaluation. It was nothing like I thought it would be. It was amazing, and I would rather go see a chiropractor. I mean, I'm healthy. I don't really have anything going on. But I'm sure you're supposed to see your doctor also for a checkup, which I haven't done in years, but doing what you do. And because I do exercise and I do take care of my body and I eat well, you said I'm a good candidate. And not that other people are not either, but you're able to fine-tune little parts of my body. So that was really good.
Dr. Mike, let me change gears here. I mean, we are the Business Experience Show. We want to talk about your business for a bit. Typically, people in your profession make more money by either seeing more patients, charging more money, selling additional services. what are the sorts of things that you'd like to do with your business that we might be able to help you?
Well, like many technicians, whether we're attorneys or plumbers or doctors, we tend to have really good experience in our field. On the other hand, our business experience tends to be quite weak.
How long have you been a chiropractor?
So I've been in practice this is my 13th year, but I've just been in practice on my own for 1 year. So I'm an absolute novice with business.
Give us a background about how you got into your sole practice.
I had a bit of a had a bit of a divorce from my former practice, and you asked a good question. My former partner wanted to make more money, and his idea was to cut down visit times with patients. See more people, and not give the same quality of care.
Well, not everyone is all about the money, but one of the things that we do when we counsel people and we help them is to figure out what it is how they view success, what it is that they want from their practice or their business. If cutting the amount of time that you spend with each patient means that you can see more patients, you can make more money, or you can charge more money for those patients that you see if you spend more time, or upselling products, or getting more people in the door, and part of that goes to positioning your business and then marketing your business, and that way you get more people to come in and hiring other people, other staffers to help you as well. So there are lots of different ways that you can go about growing your business if that's what you want to do. Some people don't look to grow their business, they just want to improve the quality of the experience both for the patient and for the service provider.
But if they don't have some sort of strategy, though, they're not going to be around very long. They're going to be super experienced with giving care, but you haven't really taken the time to nurture the business.
Right.
So you almost need a business doctor. We got a healthcare doctor for a chiropractor, but you need somebody that's either internally that you hire that focuses on that business for you. If that's too much, then you go somewhere else outside.
Sure. Yep. And we know there are plenty of healthcare providers that love what they do and plenty that hate what they do. And the trick or the secret, it seems to me, is to figure out what makes you happiest, and so that you can provide the best experience for your customers where it actually makes you feel good and meets your goals as well.
Yeah, I'm in the fortunate place that
your business is growing.
We're looking to grow, and it's time when so many doctors, especially in California, have left California. We read about it all the time, and are contracting their businesses. We are definitely looking to expand, and we're lucky. I'm grateful that we have some growing pains right now.
The growing pains, though, come not just from the patients, but it also running the business as well.
Oh, yeah, very much. Yeah, we're incorporating a new electronic health record system, and that alone, we're having to cut back on patient time so we can get trained in this. And the idea is to save time long term.
How many hours a day would you say you're spending in the office?
I spend about 8 hours.
Do you?
Yeah, so I'm a lot better off than most of my colleagues.
That's great. Yeah, that's really good.
And that includes
balancing your time.
Yeah, and that includes an hour for lunch and a workout.
So what are some of your growing pains?
Growing pains. Trying to figure out how to see more patients. I can't see. I'm limited with how many I can see. I've got a colleague in the office who I'm working with to take over some.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about your growing pains. We got to take a quick break. For more information about Dr. Mike and our show, learn about our business guests. Go to thebusinessexperienceshow.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Go to thebusinessexperienceshow.com. You're listening to Angels AM 830 KLAA. I'm Lisa Caprelli with Cole Smith and Dr. Kramer. We'll be right back.
Is your business having a difficult time in today's market? If you offer a great product or service but are struggling with tapping into a solid customer base, perhaps we can help. Or maybe you would just like to cut your losses and walk away. The marketing professionals from the Business Experience Show are considering turnaround opportunities with select businesses. If you feel that you can benefit, please contact us through thebusinessexperienceshow.com or call 949-415-8237. That's 949-415-8237.
Welcome back to The Business Experience Show with Lisa, Kramer, and Cole.
Welcome back to the Business Experience Show. I'm Lisa Caprelli with Cole Smith of ELOC Network and Dr. Kramer. We're talking with Chiropractor Dr. Mike. So we were talking about some of your growing pains in business, Dr. Mike.
So some of the things that I'm working on trying to get together are marketing strategies.
Great.
I paid nothing for marketing at all. And so most of the marketing we've done has been through the internet.
Referrals. And what is the main factor through internet?
You had said referrals.
Yeah.
Patients who say, hey, check this guy out online or check out his website.
Is the main one also, we talked about this before the break, through Yelp?
That's been a surprising source of referrals, and I'm really grateful for that. Patients have written some nice things on Yelp. It's free advertising, and it's brought in people to shop, and they come in. They're actually not shopping. They come in and they're ready to start as patients.
Are you having your customers call from your website? Do they have an opt-in form of some way of getting information from you so that you can follow up, have some sort of follow-up system?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing we've seen is I do a lot of texting now with patients. So what we found in the office is in general, patients that are 40 and under, we text to. Patients 40 to 60, we email, and patients over 60, we call. And it's an interesting thing because our patients that are over 60, they may text or they may receive text.
Right.
They'll call back simply because they oftentimes can't read the screen, or they'll have to make the fonts too big. It's an interesting thing we're seeing, and it is getting older and older. I mean, there are some patients that we text and they're in their 60s. And
maybe you should start promoting a phone on there that has the smartphones with your information, your logo on it.
That'd actually be really smart. Yeah.
Yeah, and he does follow up with, when we went in to our visit, my producer and I, he's like, how was your visit and what are you guys doing? And he, a doctor that texts you and follows and cares, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but as far as a strategy for your business, I mean, if you look at the business as a whole, you've got your operations side of your business, then you've got the marketing, how you're currently marketing and receiving incoming or outgoing messages for your business. But before we even get to that component, you're limited on the number of hours that you can work in a given day.
That's correct.
So if you could find some products or services that you could offer to your customer, I've worked with a number of retail in the healthcare industry, and they're looking at probably a third of their revenue is generated through product sales. Vitamins in your case, or supplements or things like that. But I mean, you could generate a couple of $1 million a year on marketing just your supplement.
And there are chiropractors that also offer fitness and training, posture training, fitness training, and especially for the patients that come in and they need to lose a few pounds or they need to work on their posture, and if you can have them come back in and then have somebody that works with them, it's upselling or it's selling a different thing, and you don't need to be involved in that on a day-to-day basis. You can have a staffer and even an independent contractor that does that, and it's good business sense to at least explore that. But getting back to the marketing that you were talking about, that's all very passive in that somebody has to be looking for a chiropractor in your area or in your field before they find you on the internet through Yelp or Google or however they search. There's a large number of people in your demographic that don't even know that they could benefit from your services. And so public speaking, writing, or doing other things to educate people that you're out there and that you could help them is something you might consider doing as well.
Yeah, I've done a bit of that.
He's here today on the Business Experience Show.
And also with webinars. I do people tend to have short-term, not memories, but short-term attention spans. And so I'll do these 30-second blocks every month
Awesome.
on video. And so those are on YouTube, and they're now on our website. So
Awesome.
we've
Great.
spoken about that before. And thank you. That actually has helped.
Excellent. Yeah.
And then on the supplement end, we've actually just started I took your advice, and we've incorporated that now.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
Yeah, brought it in-house because I was making these recommendations to go to Whole Foods, and frankly, we can get the same exact things for a little bit less money, make a little bit, save the patient time and effort, but more importantly, we'll get patient compliance. So actually, it's there, they'll do it.
Right.
And, yeah.
One of the things that I just want to mention to you and other business owners that's out there, we're pushing so much information, marketing messages, but it's really about messages helping. So once that message has gone out over the internet, whether it's Yelp or whether it's YouTube or LinkedIn, you're driving that traffic back to your website. And if you're not capturing that information, you're losing the big opportunity for your business, and that's 360. That's lead generation, form capture from that lead generation, so it goes into a funnel for your business. When you come in the morning, you could have 40, 50 people because of all of this information that you're sending out. They're going to your website, but if they have nowhere to go to give you the information, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's part of. Those are some growing pains we have with learning how to do that.
And Cole, we talk weekly about like the dashboard, and there's a way that you can integrate all this. So you send out
the dashboard, there's a dashboard that's sending messages out again. Mm-hmm. Everything that we really talk about, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, that's talking about your business. It's getting your message out there. But if a customer goes, aha, I really want to talk to this guy, and it's 11 o'clock at night, I want to go to his website, I need to type in some information, or I want to leave him an email, or sign up for a form and get a brochure that you may have available for me online. You gave him information, and now you've got his email to be able to continue seeing and keeping him in the loop. You can manage hundreds and hundreds of prospects online through lead generation software.
Wow.
You got a marketing, and you've got the inbound capture.
When Cole talks about getting your message out, I mean, the $1 million question for your business is, what message is it that you want to get out? If the message is, I provide quality chiropractic services, that may or may not prompt somebody to contact you. If you are a solution looking for a problem, that's something that perhaps somebody will pick up the phone or go to their keyboard or do something to try to reach out to you to schedule an appointment. If it's $5 off on your first visit, that probably is not an effective message, and it sends the wrong message anyway. So one of the things that we do is we work with people to try to figure out the message to send, how to build their brand, because it really depends on the business that you want to build.
Well, the industry's changed over in the last 3 years. 3 years ago, everyone's on social media, getting their Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest.
Pinterest.
I know. I'm kidding.
Pinterest. It bugs me. Okay.
But they've rushed out to get these social sites,
right?
And so now they have all these social
and
sites.
they don't know what to do with
now
them.
Now what?
Right.
Now the market has actually matured, and now we're trying to manage the messages that are going out, have a very strategic plan behind that message to focus on particular industries. You could actually, if you sat down and wrote about how many different areas, Dr. Mike, are there in your business that you could write about?
Oh,
10,
gosh.
15?
Easily, yeah, sure.
So break it down to one at a time. Write your articles. Your articles are followed by videos that match the articles. Do the same thing with your messages that can be used by the dashboard, Lisa.
Right.
So now that they're all matching, so with this consistent message, you've done it one time. Now go to number 2 product that you want, then number 3, and you create this automated system. It sounds like a lot of work, but once it's done and you use some of these technologies that's out there for managing that lead, when it does come in, that's your goal, is really managing the lead. Why spend time otherwise?
Right. Your Yelp reviews are the best I've ever seen. You have 1 4-star review and 39 5-star reviews. That's amazing. Can you explain that a little bit, Dr. Mike?
It's funny. I had a patient on Friday, and he goes, do you pay your patients? And I said, sure, I do. I think it's important to be skeptical of anyone you see, whether it's a plumber or your attorney or your doctor. To be skeptical, and I invite skepticism. I believe in under promising and over delivering. Mm-hmm. So I do really feel it's important to give a superior product, or offer something that helps.
Well, and one of the things about Yelp is that other people can sell you better than you can sell yourself. And when you talked about you have musicians and you have athletes, if any of them are celebrities, if any of them have their own Twitter accounts with thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, it might be helpful to have somebody tweet about what a wonderful experience they had. Now, it's not shameful to go to a chiropractor, especially if all athletes do. It would be great to have a professional athlete talk about what a wonderful chiropractor you are, what a great experience it was. For the musician that people have heard of or know, would be wonderful to have that. And of course, if you don't ask your patients to tweet or to endorse you, they're not going to think about that and do that themselves. And if you do ask, they can say no gracefully, but if you invite them and tell them it would be a help, a lot of people want to help.
Yeah, people are so willing to help you, but you got to ask.
Here's a great example of that. If you tweet, you send a message out to an athlete, he's got 75,000 fans. He just drove 30,000 fans to your site. How are they going to get you? You can't take all the phone calls.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I think as doctors, sometimes we're a little bit shy. I know I am, to do that because we're hammered by our insurance companies about privacy,
Right.
HIPAA regulations. But you're right. People want to help, and to ask for not even really an endorsement to, hey, tweet about us.
Yeah, maybe you put it while you're waiting there in the front desk, while you're waiting by your lobby. Just don't forget to tweet.
You know, Cole, you had said something about that last time we'd met in terms of on the way out. We're using these iPads to check patients in. We're going to put Facebook on there, and they can just log in and
whatever they want to do to be able to get the information.
Yeah. Or checking in, like Facebook lets you check in. I was here at Dr. Mike's office.
It's not as if you're treating them for an STD or something.
Right.
If all athletes go to chiropractors and everyone knows that, then there's no shame in that. And if you don't ask, you don't get. So I'd suggest you consider doing that.
It's really smart.
Or not even if you put it on an iPad when they're in there. If the different ages. At least give them a card. Say, hey, look, when you go home, here's my Yelp, or here's some things that I'd like for you to go home. And it's a little 3.5 by 5 card.
Right.
And you just hand it to them because they may not want to, or they feel embarrassed, or they may not want to do that.
Or what? Because I was in his office while you're waiting, you can put other people's likes. Like I'll do that. Like Lisa Caprelli liked us on Facebook. So now people go, oh, someone else did it. That means I want to do it too.
Smart.
People tend to copy what other people do.
And you can actually have them to take it home and you say, look, if you go online to buy one of our supplements and you got a coupon code on that card, they get 5% off. Right. Lots of things that you can do simple like that.
Very smart.
You got a great captured audience and take advantage of that. I mean, you can really exponentially.
We're going to make him busier. Do you want to get busier?
No, we want to make it
easier. How many people can you treat in an hour, Dr. Mike?
In a day, the most I'll treat is about 30 a day.
Okay.
I don't like to get myself treat more than that, but certainly the clinic has that capacity easily. And so I'd like to get more doctors trained up in our specific techniques and really our how we run things.
Of course, you need more patients before you get those doctors in.
Yes, that is a goal.
Do you think that people will always have a need to go to a chiropractor?
A need, it depends on how healthy you are. It's like saying, do you need to go to a dentist? Well, if you really take great care of your teeth, you brush and floss and daily and don't live on sugar, you really only need to go to a dentist to get your enamel scraped here and there. Mm-hmm. Should you go? Sure, yeah. So it's the same kind of thing. People say, I heard you have to go to a chiropractor the rest of your life. Absolutely not.
So what business advice would you give to a chiropractor who's not doing well these days?
Know what you're able to do. So if you don't have a specific field to excel in, work on that. Work hard at it. Work diligently. Again, under promise, over deliver, that's a lot of it.
Yeah. And at what point did you stop being the technician and being the business owner?
Last year, when I opened my own practice, it's changed things a lot.
So, are you bringing in other doctors? Or are you looking at actually expanding by bringing other chiropractors?
That'll be the goal. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Good.
What do you want to be known as? Ooh, some deep questions here.
I'm known as being a doctor, a holistic doctor that's been able to help quite a few patients and quite a lot of people, and that's really the goal: is to have a clinic that does that, that treats holistically, that actually fixes people, that sends people home with things to do, so they don't need us as much.
Well, a goal without a specific plan is nothing more than a wish. So you need to figure out the action steps to take to reach your goals. And we used to recommend people have a 5-year business plan or a 10-year business plan. The speed of business has really changed, and it's not practical anymore to project out 5 years. But you can dream build, and you can think about the sort of practice that you want to have, the sort of life you want to have in and out of your office, and then figure out the action steps to take to be able to accomplish those goals.
And that's a challenge that I've found is to put together a solid business plan. We've done that, but to keep it realistic and keep it on track, that's been a big challenge.
Sure. Here's one of the things that I love about what you're doing, Dr. Mike, is that you've picked out musicians and entertainers and athletes. Your focus. That's your focus. If you stay focused on what it is that you want, you're going to do better in your business. If you start really veering off in other areas, and I know most small business, they're just trying to take patients as they can get whatever they can. But if your message is in your marketing and stay focused on what you're generating and focus on the referrals, that's where you're going to see your business expand. And I like that you even say it over and over. So that's the direction that you're going. So I would recommend highly to keep going in that direction.
I agree.
Thank you.
It's a big market.
Much
so
of your
don't try to go too far outside.
I agree. Much of your support comes from artists and the artist community. Can you share with the audience what you do there?
I do treat, again, as part of the musicians community, a lot of artists, whether they're visual artists or graphic artists or photographers. So one thing we decided to do is when we opened the practice, we wanted to know what to put on the walls, and we were kind of at a loss. I didn't have the typical boring doctor's office, and so one of my patients actually offered to put their art up for free, and I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and have you put it up. We won't charge you to display. 100% of what you sell goes back to you. My exchange is that I'll have cool art, and it's worked out great.
Give us your website, how someone can find you.
DocMikeChiro.com. DocMikeChiro.com.
Any last words to share with the audience about your practice, Dr. Mike?
It's a lot of fun. We're here to help people, and not just athletes or musicians. And I'm grateful to be here.
Thanks
Thank you.
for sharing with our audience today. For more information about Dr. Mike and our show, to learn more about any of our business guests, go to thebusinessexperienceshow.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Ask us to follow you back. Go to thebusinessexperienceshow.com. You're listening to Angels AM 830 KLAA. We'll be right back. I'm Lisa Caprelli. We have Cole Smith and Doc Kramer.